Would Donald Trump try to use his own leftover PAC money and campaign funds approaching $75 million to pay reparations money, moolah, to the Jan 6 defendants, along with a pardon that he's planning on giving them? And if he doesn't use that money, would he try to support a bill through Congress to use our taxpayer dollars to pay those insurrectionists for having tried to burn down the Capitol? I'm going to cover it all right here. I'm Michael Popok. You're on the new Legal AF YouTube channel. We built this channel for a reason, but we need your help. Take a moment, hit the blue subscribe button, and we'll move forward together. And I'm Michael Popok at The Intersection. Let's break it all down. I got to thinking as I heard some Jan 6 insurrectionists acting out in federal court in the last couple of days, some during the sentencing of their crimes where they've already been convicted by a judge or a jury of felonies, some who are awaiting trial, others that are in court for various reasons, all yelling out, screaming out, threatening judges, federal judges, by saying, we're going to get pardons. Well, you shouldn't be sentencing us, setting our trial, or doing anything else. We should be released immediately. We're getting pardons. Yay. One person in particular, Chris Cantrell, in court before Judge Beryl Howell, who used to be the chief judge of the D.C. Circuit Court, he told the judge that the process is already underway. He and his lawyers have been in contact with the office of the president-elect Trump to get pardons. So that got me thinking. I knew there was already a list that was prepared within the presidential transition team, I am sure, listing thousands, not just the 1,600 who have been successfully prosecuted by the Department of Justice and arrested through the FBI and investigated. No, not just them. Add double that number to cover all the MAGA members of Congress, all the people that worked in and around Donald Trump, all the unindicted co-conspirators, if you will, who are all going to be getting these golden pardons. One of the insurrectionists, while he was being sentenced, Zachary Alam, actually had the balls to say out loud to a federal judge, Judge Friedrich. He told her, and I don't want just one of those, I don't want just like a second-class pardon. I want a first-class pardon with restitution. All right, so restitution also means reparation, which means dollars and payments for them. Now, this guy, I just told you about, Zachary Alam, he's so bad. He served 4 years in pre-trial detention. He's almost a permanent member of the Jan 6 choir, if you know what I mean. And so I put the two and two together. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So I know now that it's not just a list that's being prepared by the transition team for Donald Trump. People are actually sort of applying for pardons. You know, normally in the White House, like the Biden White House, the White House, the chief of staff, and then there's lawyers for the pardon process that are assigned, that are like adjuncts to the White House counsel's office that process these applications, make reports and recommendations. Ultimately, the White House counsel and the White House chief of staff kind of get together, make the proposal and the pitch, bring the list to the president of the United States, who decides who to pardon. Playing it out, if I had to put some people on the list right now who are worthy of a pardon, Hunter Biden. Let's put an end to this chaos and ridiculousness of prosecuting for political gain the son of a president, using a special counsel that Donald Trump doesn't even believe exists. He already successfully got rid of his, at least in the Mar-a-Lago, Florida case. So Hunter Biden is definitely going to be on the list. Michael Cohen. Not just because he's on our network, not just because I like Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen deserves it. Donald Trump calls him the enemy of Donald Trump. He's now returning to the White House with all the powers of the most powerful man or person in the world. And poor Michael Cohen, he needs a pardon. He needs a get out of jail free card. So it goes through a process. There's a White House counsel. There's a White House attorneys, or a couple of attorneys who are assigned, who are really smart to processing this information and making recommendations. There's letters of recommendation. There's a process. There's a process that goes on. I mean, Trump didn't use one. You know, Jared Kushner came in, parachuted in, grabbed the whole process, made the list, and Donald Trump signed it. But that's not how Joe Biden and the Democrats operate. So there is already a shadow pardon process that's being run right now by the Trump administration. So the question is this, that I posited at the beginning. I assume all the Jan 6ers are asking for money. Oh, we went to jail for you. We were in the choir for you. You know, we lost our jobs. We lost our lives, our wives, our time. We need money. Millions of dollars. These are the same people that are against reparations for people who were slaves in this country, right? Or had their property taken away without compensation, or were made property of other human beings in the slave trade. But no, now they want money. Where does that money come from? Where would reparations come from? I got to thinking. Well, there's only 2 or 3 sources. Donald Trump has about 100, if you combine what's left over in his campaign, we will get the full report soon, but estimating what's left over in his campaign and in his PACs, political action committees, that are only supposed to be used for campaign-related things, including maybe arguably legal fees. You've got the about $100 million. Donald Trump just set up a new PAC to continue to pay for things like his legal fees. The question is, even though there are limits, federal regulatory limits that what you can use PAC money from, who's going to stop Donald Trump? He's going to replace the head of the Federal Election Commission with a lackey and a meat puppet and the other members of the board on that. He's got the Supreme Court in his back pocket when it comes to pardons and the use of funds. It'll be years before they ever get around to doing anything about it. He'll be almost out of office by the time he gets up to the Supreme Court. So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he take the $100 million left over in his PAC and peel out a check, give each one of these people $1 million? I don't know. Give each one of them $100,000. He has the money to do it. And then the question is, if he doesn't use it for that, and he's not supposed to use it for that, but he's not supposed to do a lot of things that he's done and gotten away with. Then would he have the balls, the brass ones, to go to Congress, MAGA Congress, and put a bill to give reparations to the Jan 6th insurrectionists? And what that would do to the American people? Hopefully it would be a wake-up call to those Democrats that stayed home and those people who were independent that voted for Donald Trump in various interest groups where it was not in their interest. As I said in a prior hot take, Donald Trump didn't fix what was broken. He's about to break what was already fixed. But having said that, what would happen? I think heads would pop off their necks and tops would explode around America if he had the temerity, the balls, to try to get a bill passed to use our hard-paying taxpayer dollars to pay Jan 6 insurrectionists who are all sentenced to jail and years in prison because they beat and maimed law enforcement. And what does that say to law enforcement? He keeps saying, I got the veteran vote, I got the military vote, I got the law enforcement vote. I mean, how? Law enforcement, you got your brains beaten in on Jan 6th because of Donald Trump, and now he's going to pay the people that almost killed you and led you to commit suicide, take your own life. You're going to pay these people, reward them? Why don't you give him the Congressional Medal of the Presidential Medal of Honor or the Congressional Medal of Honor? Why not? Give all the medals out. Why don't we have an event at the Kennedy Center and have all the Jan 6 insurrectionists and their families who just got pardons? You can give them big checks, like the big checks Elon Musk handed out, like Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Why not? The why not is right here on this channel. We're going to call this out. So the short answer is no. Under federal regulations, he's not allowed to use or touch the $100 million for those purposes. He can give it out to other candidates. He can give, since he's not running again, he can give, what's his name, J.D. Vance, a head start and give him money for his future campaign once he's ready to set up a future campaign, right? But as soon as I heard the following, pieces of the puzzle that I put together, Donald Trump set up a new PAC, right? A Stand By Me PAC or whatever he's calling it. He's got the old PAC with lots of money in it, the old campaign with lots of money in it, and he's got all these pardons. He's not just going to give out pardons. And he's already got an office of the pardons for the president-elect set up to take applications. Come on. Once again, back to Joe Biden, I implore you, give Michael Cohen a pardon. Everybody on this channel and network that feels the same way, leave me a comment. Give Hunter Biden a pardon, right? Put a comment here on this particular hot take if you agree with that. We'll continue to talk about all these things. The only way and the only place I know how, on the Legal AF channel, on the Midas Touch Network, on Legal AF, our podcast, on new content that I'm curating exclusively here on this channel. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, I am Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.